Let's talk today about the uniqueness of Jesus. When we compare him to other religious leaders, it's like everybody's in one group and we've got Jesus over here. So here's one way that they're very different. Jesus has so many sources for him, stories of him. The manuscript evidence is powerful, it's close. We have thousands of copies to look at to see if we get back to the real Jesus, and we can. The prophecies about Jesus, we have many prophecies in the Old Testament. You can look them up, do an internet search, and you'll find dozens and dozens. No other prophecies for other religious leaders. What he said was unique. I mean, can you imagine? He said things like, I'm the resurrection and the life. He told people he was the way, he was the truth and the life, the only way to God. What other religious leader has said things like that? He was either liar, lunatic, or Lord, as they say. That was C.S. Lewis's challenge there. But it was more than what he said. It was what he did. He healed. He got rid of demons. He accepted worship. He told people their sins were forgiven. I mean, all these actions of his are just astounding when you compare him to the other leaders that are out there. What friends said about him sets him apart from others. For example, what does Thomas say when he encounters the risen Jesus? Takes a look at his nail prints, takes a look at his side. What does he say? My Lord and my God. Wow, these are the friends of Jesus. If you look at 1 John, John there uses language of a courtroom, saying, I am under oath and this is what I swear. And again he says, we touched him, we talked to him. This is truly God in flesh. That's what his friends said. What about people that would be outside of Christianity? Is it only Christians that say these kinds of things? No. In the Jewish Talmud, written later, what do they say? They say, yes, Jesus was around and he did perform miracles, but it's because of sorcery. But I mean, do you see what they're having to admit? That he did perform miracles. What about Romans? What do some of the Romans say? Well, you have Tacitus, you have Pliny, you have some others who all tell the same story that we get in the Gospels about somebody being crucified under the time of Pilate. And then we get a reference in Pliny, for example, that says people are singing hymns to him as to a god. So there's some interesting things that people outside of the faith are saying about him. Josephus, the Jewish source, talks about James, the death of James. He says, James, you know, James, the brother of Jesus. And there's a section in there where he refers to Jesus and possibly being the Messiah. Now, there may have been a problem with that as far as somebody tidying up the text a little bit there, but he's making a definite reference to Jesus as being an important figure in history. Think about this. How else is Jesus unique? How about the impact that he's had on the world? I mean, you match him up against anybody else, Muhammad or Buddha or Joseph Smith or any of these other leaders. It's Jesus that's made the biggest impact on the world. For example, the way women are treated, they were raised, they were elevated because of Jesus and because of his approach. How about universities? Where do we get this emphasis on learning and education and learning to read and write? Because of Christianity. The reformers thought it was so important for people to be able to read the Bible that they really taught people to get in there and learn about the world. Science came about because of the Judeo-Christian worldview that said God created this world. It was an orderly world. We were given some aspects of God. We were made in the image of God. And so if God's rational, we can go out and have confidence that we explore the world, and the world will be a rational place. How about hospitals? All sorts of cares for the down and out came about because of Jesus. Civil liberties that we trust and we value so highly in our society. And then here's finally, I think, the one key way that we can distinguish Jesus from all the others. It's the relationship of him to his religion. I mean, you can take Muhammad out of Mohammedanism, out of the Muslim faith. You still have those 5 things that you're supposed to do. No problem. You can take Buddha out of Buddhism. You just follow that Eightfold Path. You can take Joseph Smith out of Mormonism, and you still have all those things you must do. You cannot take Jesus out of Christianity. Jesus is Christianity. It's not a set of things to do. It's a person, and it's a person that we all need for salvation. So is there a difference between Jesus and all the other world religious leaders? You bet.